Hello, and welcome to Rambling with Tom. Today we're going to ramble a little bit about my old school days, late 30s and early 40s. I'm going to talk a little about the nibs, the jotters, the blotter, and the old satchel. Did you have a ballpoint pen when you went to school? Well, I didn't. We had the old dippin' nibs. The pen had a wooden handle about the size of a pencil. On the end of the wooden handle there was a metal flange. It was attached firmly to the wood, and on the other side there was grooves where the nib of the pen slid right into and was held firmly in place. Now we had two nibs. You had the fine nib, and of course you had the wider nib. It didn't matter which nib you were using, you were only going to get about 3 letters per dip. The wider nib, of course, picked up more ink, but it also put more ink on the paper, so it didn't last long. Now, we were also told when we're writing, you can come down on your downstroke a little heavy, but your upstroke has to be a little lighter. And the reason for that is the paper in our jotters, we call them notebooks, but the paper in our jotter was a very soft texture, much softer than the paper we have now. So if you went up too heavy on your upstroke, you more than likely put a hole in the paper. But anyway, if you had a lot of writing on the old blackboard that the master put up there, it would take you a while to get it down on paper with just the 3 letters per dip. Now when you finished one page, well, you just couldn't turn it over and start the next page right away, because half of this page was not dry yet. Ireland is known for a high humidity, but we had what was called the old blotting paper. You had a sheet of blotting paper you'd put right down on top of the page you finished, press it down, and it absorbed all the ink, and it didn't smudge the paper. So the blotting paper was very handy. Now, when your page was finished, you go ahead to the next page until all is copied that you have to do, and hope the inkwell didn't run out of ink in the meantime. So when you finish, and you can put your jotter in your satchel. Not every kid had a satchel because they cost a few pounds them days. So if you didn't have a satchel, your books was tied up with a piece of string or a little strap, and that's where you had your books to take back and forth to school. Now, if you want my advice, you'll forget about Microsoft Words. Just put it in your jotter. Put your jotter in your satchel. Thanks for listening.